All right, teammates. We are back once again. If this is your first time listening to the Move Swiftly podcast, welcome to the number one show on innovative teamwork. As you guys can see, I give you guys some beautiful views every once in a while. If you are tuning in on video, to my regular listeners, you already know how we get down, man. Whatever the challenge is, whatever the goal, whatever the obstacle is, whatever it is you feel like is getting in your way, we are here to indirectly tell you you are not going through it alone. And today, again, as normal, as you expect would come from this show, I have a guy who's going to help reprogram all of the things that you have in your head that hold you back. Just check out the name. It's Richard Trillion Mantey. You heard me correct, folks. That is his name, Richard Trillion. It's in $1 trillion. Trillion Mantey is here, and he has had a journey in regards to, and you guys already know me, I'm a fitness guy. I run every morning, I work out every morning, I keep up with my body, I make sure I put the right things in my body. So when it comes to anything weight loss, when it comes to how you take care of your body, I'm all for it. So all that being said, Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for being on and thank you for doing the work that you do because, it wasn't like you just woke up one morning and you had this mindset. You've actually been a victim of a situation where, you may have had a mindset where you felt like you couldn't get to where it is you want to get to. And I was listening to you on a previous show. There was a period there where you were incredibly overweight, where you were, going on, you had the wrong habits. So why don't we start off there where, just talk to us a little bit about your background and some of the things that you've lived through in order to get to where you are now.
So I'm formerly like I was born in West Africa from Ghana,
Hmm.
and I came to Canada when I was 14, 15 years old,
Hmm.
and back in Africa, we don't have any issue with weight because we always running around and eating
Okay.
healthy food, and African food are fresh. But when we came
Right.
to Canada, you know how the food are here in overseas, right? So there's so many food available. So you start eating and you start eating, and
And
all of
this
a
is like
sudden
when you were a teenager. So you made the transition from Africa to Canada when you were in your teen years. So you're very
from
impressionable.
19
Like, all right.
Mhm. I was like 14, 15 years old, right?
That's
But I've lived here longer than I've lived in Africa. In Canada, I've lived in Canada longer than I live in Africa. And you
beautiful.
know how the food here, there's so much food here in Canada. In
Hmm.
America, it's not like back home, back in the days, you know? You
Right.
only eat like two square meal. Over here, you can eat as many food as you can, you
Right.
know? So it became a habit and I became overweight. And I was struggling with this weight for so many years. And when I was in my like 30s, I tried to cut the weight.
Mhm.
I couldn't do it. You know, every time I try to lose a weight, I gain it back again. Every time I try to lose weight, I gain it back again. And I begin to believe that actually I cannot lose a weight. I was beginning to lose really faith in myself. So
So just
I
to just to kind of pause you there because I don't want it to get brushed over. What were the things that you were trying to do before that weren't working? Because again, a person like me that's in the fitness world, you hear a lot of stuff. A lot of people promising a lot of different things, a lot of gym owners, a lot of gym members that will blow a lot of smoke up your behind and tell you that this is going to happen. They will take your money, but it ain't going to work. So speak to us a little bit about those times where you tried things, but they didn't work.
okay, so basically I will make a correction.
Hmm.
Actually, when I lose a weight, I'll gain the weight back again. This is
Hmm.
what I mean by when I try to don't work out. Basically, I'll go to the gym, okay,
Right.
and I'll lose a weight and I'll gain the weight back again. We'll creep back a couple of months, we'll come back again. And
Hmm.
then I even tried shakes. I was drinking some shakes I bought online that you're going to lose weight, like you were saying.
Yep.
And I will lose the weight and I'll gain it back again. And I
Right.
also take medication. There was so many medication that you can take to make you lose weight. I was taking them to, and I will lose the weight and I'll gain the weight back in a couple of months. So I
Hmm.
realized this wasn't just a physical, there has to be something that was happening to me because how can like I'm a really focused and determined person, right? And when I put my mind into anything, I'm
Right.
able to accomplish it. So I realized this has to be mentally, it has to be mentally because the fact that I'll lose a weight and I'll go back to my old habit
Hmm.
and I'll gain the weight back, it has to be something. So I began to read and I was reading about, I bump into the book that talk about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And
Hmm.
when I started reading the book, I became aware that you can actually program yourself unconsciously about certain word of yourself that you don't know nothing about. And when the
Right.
program is done as a habit within your subconscious mind, The subconscious mind is like a million times more powerful than your conscious mind. When those habits are formed, it play like a autopilot. It causes you automatically to do things to sustain the way that you unconsciously program it.
Yes.
So I begin to become aware that I had to change that program that I have there that I unconsciously has programming. So once I start working on changing that program, I stopped struggling and everything went nicely. That's what this book came about, so
Right.
that's what I'm going to talk about it over here.
Yeah, so when you speak about programming, the book that it's actually a four-part series, if I'm not mistaken. It's a four-part series on how to lose weight, correct?
Yeah.
So when you're gaining this knowledge, and myself as an author, I definitely understand that aspect when you read a book and it's almost like you walk out and the skies are painted in a different color. It's like, oh my God, I didn't realize how I was thinking before.
I like this guy.
I've had that feeling so many different times. We probably lose track of time talking about that.
Yeah.
But when you decide to put it down on paper, I want to hear that. Like I want to hear the story. And when you decide, look, I have so much more knowledge and it's working for me. I feel compelled to now write a book about it and be able to put it out there for the world. Can you speak a little bit about, that process a little bit?
Okay, I'm going to speak of that process because the process is that
Hmm.
when I became aware of what was happening to
Yeah.
me, to actually not be able to lose a weight when getting the weight back after I lose the weight. What happened is that for me to put this book out there, I have to test it on myself
Yes, sir.
and test it
Mhm.
on a couple of my friends.
Mhm.
So this is it. And thank you for asking me that question. You're a good host.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
And
We've been doing this for
yeah,
a while,
so you're
man.
gonna bring
But
the best out of
always
me.
try,
Okay,
right?
so when I started to, because I begin to imagine myself, right?
Hmm.
Because I had to do it on myself. I begin to
Yeah.
imagine I was weighing 224 pounds. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I became aware of that, first of all, before I even get into it, I know you know the meaning of the conscious and the subconscious. Maybe some other people
Yeah.
are listening to us, they don't know. So I'm going to explain. Your conscious mind is basically your thinking mind. Your subconscious mind is where all habit are formed. And this
Right.
subconscious mind is so powerful that when that habit is formed in there, it controls 95% of your thought, your daily thought. So whatever habit you have in there, it begin to cause you to do things willingly to fulfill those habits automatically without even realizing it.
Mhm.
So what I did, I begin to imagine myself weighing 163 pounds. That's the weight that I want to weigh. I
Mhm.
begin to do that imagination. But the question is that some people think that when you just imagine yourself, all of a sudden you're going to lose the weight. When you start imagining yourself, it will program your subconscious mind. And the
Mhm.
subconscious mind will cause you to do things that will sustain that program. It's like an autopilot. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So when instead of you to, it causes you like, it's like a roadmap for you to achieve your goal. So it will
Yeah.
cause you to do things that will make you become the way that you program it instead of you having a wrong program in there and that program is going against you
Mhm.
losing weight. That's the reason why when you lose the weight, it will
Right.
cause you to gain the weight back. But once you program it with a certain kind of weight, like me, I
Hmm.
want to weigh 163 pounds. So I begin to imagine and visualize myself every day standing on the scale weighing 163 pounds. And
Hmm.
I do it over and over. I begin to hear my family members telling me, "Congratulations, Trillion. You actually weigh that much." So as I was doing that, I was programming my subconscious mind, and this subconscious mind is programmed by a repetition. So when you do it over and over and over, it becomes a habit. And when it's formed there, it will cause you to do things willingly. You begin to have habit to do things that you never used to do before. Because,
Right.
for instance, me, I wasn't interested in eating fruit. I wasn't
Right.
a fruit. I like to eat food at a certain time. So when the program was changed, I begin to have interest in food. I make shakes now with a bunch of food that I was never interested in. So it was causing me to do different habits. But when you see these things happen, you have to go for it. You have to put in the work. And when you put in the work, you're going to lose the weight. But you can't just do the program and when you begin to have desire to want to eat certain kind of food or
Right.
work out in a certain way, you're just going to lay back. No, you got to do the work. And when you do the work, it will sustain you to stay lean.
Yeah. So on that point though of subconscious, and I want to make sure the listeners are clearly hearing me when I say this, you got to put yourself around the right people. because you're born into this world with no control over who's around you, who your parents are, what they did, what their mistakes are, what school you go. None of that is in your control. So essentially, at some point, you're going to maybe adopt some bad habits that you didn't mean to pick up. So it's important that the people, like you just said, your family was around you. Imagine them telling you congratulations. You imagine them, praising you for the work you were doing. And that pulled you through certain things, certain areas, and certain times in your life where it's like, hey, I could have went down the wrong way. For me personally, I remember actually a mentor of mine, his name is Dre Baldwin. When it comes to food, he would make the distinction between like fruits and vegetables, and he'd be like, you're putting death or life in your body. Like fruits and
Yeah.
vegetables, you have to be grown, you have to see them grow. Salads, these are things that are grown, and then you eat them, then you put them in your body. That's life. But if you want to spend your time on burgers and steaks and a bunch of pork, these are things that need to be killed, slaughtered, and then they come to your place. So you're putting death or life in your body. When he broke it down like that, man, my mindset was like, okay, let me make sure I'm cleaning up the way I eat, and all of that. He's another one that talks a lot about the subconscious and how your subconscious mind really is more powerful than you actually think of. So, you go through that weight loss, you figure out, you drop the weight that you want to get to and all that, but then do you have a transition to say, now I want to apply this to how people's money mindsets are, and then you write a book on money. So speak to us a little bit about that transition from weight loss to now I'm going to be talking about teaching people how to make their money and keep their money in the right situation.
Okay, so with a money mindset, Willow's book, like I said to you, I grew up a little bit in Africa,
Hmm.
and this subconscious mind is extremely very important, right? Like
Right.
people don't understand how this thing shape your life, you know. And one thing is that it record your daily life. Everything you do, it recorded, whether you are aware of it or you're not aware of it. So, as
Hmm.
growing up in Africa, as a kid growing up, my parents used to talk about money, okay,
Yeah.
in a certain way. Like sometimes you're gonna hear them say, "Oh, it's not only the parent, the environment that you grew up in, and the association, the people that you have around you. You're gonna hear some people that we don't have.
Hmm.
Some people are even like I grew up in the church as a Christian, whereby some people believe that money is the root of all evil, which is not true because money is really good. So when you
The
grow up,
love of money is the root of
the
all.
love of money is the root of
Okay,
all evil.
that one gets misconstrued by a lot of people. It's the love of money, not money in itself. Money buys groceries. Money actually pays bills and pays for your house and all that. All right.
And people have that belief system.
Yeah.
They have that belief system.
Right.
That's a limited belief about money. You know what I mean? And when you think that way about this money that way, it become something that's ingrained inside your subconscious mind. So you
Mhm.
imagine you have a beautiful wife or girlfriend or whoever you have in your
Right.
life, a partner, a family member, and deep in you, you don't like them. And everything in this universe is energy. So whatever you have in you, you begin to attract what you have inside. So if your wife feels within you that you don't like her, you think she would like to come around you?
Absolutely not.
The
Absolutely not.
same way, the same way with money. It's a spirit,
Mhm.
and people don't know that. It's an energy. So
Right.
if you have that belief system ingrained in you, when you're growing up, or even as a grown up, having a certain people around you that have this belief system that money, if you make so much money,
Mhm.
basically you are greedy, or like you have to, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they believe system of money basically is not good,
Right.
meaning that you are greedy, you become
Selfish.
like and selfish, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And people say, okay, it's evil too. They
Yeah.
see people believe money is evil. So you
Right.
have this belief system within yourself. And also you're hanging around people that don't know nothing about money. They are not consciously aware they are rich and wealthy. So this energy actually affects your program. Okay. So that conversation you have around them, we got money. Oh, we don't have, we don't have, we don't have. Consistent became a habit when you hearing that from your parent, growing up, hearing that around the environment you grow up, it affects your belief system. So
Right.
you grow up and get a good education and you try to make money, and that program you have, even though you are well educated, you're making a lot of money, the
Mhm.
program will go against you losing the money.
Right.
Do you understand this? This is extremely very important. So you see some people,
Mhm.
they'll win a lottery, they'll win like maybe $50 million or $100 million
Mhm.
because the program they have within them, they are not consciously aware that they are rich. So that program, when you have the money, that program will cause you to lose the money from your hand.
Right. How do you go about teaching this though? Because what you're saying is very profound. And myself, as a teacher, as an educator, I see it all the time. I see actually adults. Like this is a problem that very few kids really are aware of. But when it comes to the adults and the way they raise their kids, this is a problem that I see continuously growing. I'll give you an example. So I teach at the school named the Center for Creative Education, and maybe about a year ago now, we got a visit from another school out here in Palm Beach that was a very affluent school. We are an affluent school too, but we more so cater to a generation of kids that are coming from broken homes and they don't have a structured environment. So they don't have necessarily the money per se that this school came and visited. And I remember I overheard a conversation among some other colleagues talking about, oh, well, that school got money, so my kids will never be able to relate to them. And even if I sent them to this school, then they would never, fit in and all this stuff. Like just putting barriers on the kid before they even are old enough to make their own decisions. And my ears are ringing. My ears are ringing because I'm listening. I went to a high school that was predominantly white people, and it was like, look, it was no difference between me and them, and it was just people trying to get an education. It was all the stuff going on in our head. But I struggle with how do I approach this adult who is so stuck in their own way to think, hey, stop doing this because it's not just about you. It's about your kid now. Now you're putting barriers on your kid before you even realize, hey, maybe I need to stop thinking that just because somebody has it liquid or has the money, quote unquote, that they're better or that I'm just not going to fit in and stuff like that. How do you go about really just getting to adults and saying, hey, we gotta reprogram the way we hold think because we're hurting our kids with this.
Okay, so basically, before I even go on, I have a what do you call it? A YouTube channel. It's called
Yeah,
Richard Trillion
I saw that.
Rich Mindset. So Richard Trillion Rich Mindset. And I
Right.
just recorded an affirmation to program your subconscious mind to attract what, okay? So
Yeah.
this is like a 10-minute video of you listening to I am affirmation to program your subconscious mind to change your belief system about money. Like you're saying, how do you approach this grown people? Basically, you could tell from their lifestyle every day they're struggling with money. And guess what? I have brothers that I know myself that are going through the same thing. But
Mhm.
I'm trying to push this information on them for them to understand what is happening to them financially because I was going through it. There was a
Yeah.
time in my life before I get to that I wasn't even able
Yeah.
to pay my phone bill. I was struggling with my
Likewise.
bills.
All right.
Yeah, but I was working three jobs. I was working three jobs and I was making good money. The money was coming was good. But
Hmm.
sometime every time I get paid, something always happened to cause me to spend the money. But
Hmm.
before I didn't get paid, this never happened. Man, this was happening over. I said, no, this is not normal. There has to be something else happening. So
Hmm.
if you watch most people that have a lot of money, they understand this secret, what I'm talking to you about right now.
Right.
So once you understand this, basically you have to approach these people to tell them about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. They have to understand these two principles. In my book, Money Mindset, Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind for What? I start talking about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, how this can affect your life from the time you are little and the people you associate yourself with. Okay. So they need to pick up one of these book or they can even Google the conscious mind and subconscious mind to learn about it. Because I want people to able to change this program to help them. There's a lot of people struggling financially. They don't know what's happening to them. And they
Yeah.
have a good job and a good education and they're still struggling with money. And they don't know what's happening to them. And if you don't know what's happened to you, you can't even change it. Do you
Hmm.
understand? So people like me or a lot of people around there are talking about this stuff here. So
Hmm.
it will cause an awareness for people to become aware. So basically, they will change their mindset and they become wealthy. And I'm gonna answer your question fully how they will do it, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna like explain this deeply too. Most people actually believe, okay, that they are born, they don't have, they are born poor. Okay, I didn't want to say that word. They
Right.
believe that they're born poor, means they are not consciously aware that they're worthy. You see, this belief system here is actually sabotaging. If you
Right.
don't change that within yourself, there's nothing you do on this planet here.
And on
I-
that point, though, I have to pause you there, only because poor is very relative, and when
yeah,
we automatically go there, it's a huge problem. And I tell the story all the time. My
yeah.
mother would tell me, she grew up very poor. However, where we grew up in the affluent neighborhood in the kind of the suburbs of Silver Spring, Maryland, I always refer to her as rich compared to where she came from. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's all a matter of flipping the mindset to where she wanted us to know, hey, we grew up poor, but look at where we are now. and I took it as they're just rich compared to where they came from. But now I would be curious now, maybe my child mother would maybe say, maybe we're not so poor, even though we're raised in one bedroom apartment with 8 brothers, maybe we're not necessarily poor. So I love the fact that you take that word and you make sure it's understood that it's very relative. It's not something that you need to be just throwing out there, because that stuff seeps into your subconscious, bro. And that
Oh yeah.
if it gets
You know,
it's over. I mean, with the kind of competition we got out here, man, with
no.
YouTubers, with influencers, the way people actually make their bread now, you start letting that thing go into your subconscious mind with the kiosks, with the AI going on, you will be replaced real quick. Your mindset needs to have a level of credence to it, and you better be ready to go.
Oh yeah. And people need to know that regardless of where you were born, okay, everybody is our birthright to become rich. We are born rich.
Mhm.
Everyone is born rich. It's just because you were born in a certain kind of environment and certain kind of people that around you that influence that program that cause you that when you grow up you begin to attract this into you because before you reach 7 years old you already been programmed by your parent environment and where you grew up. So
That
if
man
you let me
said
give you an
I
example,
gotta.
like
That man said 7 years old, guys. Do you
yeah,
realize how young that is? I mean, you blink, 7 years old, they're right there. So anyway, go ahead.
seven from the
That's
time you born
that's
to
really
7 years old, you
powerful to
already
think
been
about it.
programmed.
Yeah,
Imagine, and you
yeah,
going out there working and getting education, but you struggle with money.
yeah.
You could see
7 years
some
old.
people, they
Yeah,
just get money easily. People that are born in a rich family, the parents are rich and the environment is rich. Do you see them struggle with money?
I'm telling you.
No, they don't.
You
And
know,
this is
man.
the difference, you know. So
Mhm.
once we understand that, everything changed for you.
Right.
Everything changed for you. You know, so that's why this book is extremely very important. You see, uh, our life here on earth here is to try to elevate each other to become wealthy and rich. You know, my goal, the thing that makes me happy is to actually make sure that people will become aware of this stuff, so the whole world will become rich. I
Hmm.
want everybody to become rich because this is our a birthright, and to not understand these principles here, you're
Hmm.
gonna struggle. You will struggle. So this book is extremely very important. It's written for everyone out there, the whole universe. You know,
Right.
I want them to go pick up one of this book here and just read this book here. It's no money, trust me. It will change your life forever. It will actually change your mindset and you begin to attract or you understand exactly what worth is. Worth is just a mindset, you know. That's exactly what it is. Once it's changed, everything changed for you.
So when it comes to the people that you look to serve, though, and I know you kind of mentioned everybody, but if there's someone listening out there that may specifically want you may want to take on as a client or that you may want to work with, can you kind of describe that person in case they're listening? Because what you're saying is profound, but I know everybody isn't fair. There's some people that are so stuck in a way that you would even be wasting your time trying to continuously to approach them to get them to see new things. So kind of describe that person in case they're listening.
Well, if you are out there and
Hmm.
you're working 8 hours, you know, every
Oh,
day,
he's talking to somebody now. Now he's talking. He's talking to
yeah,
somebody.
you you're working 8 hours every day and you're doing 40 hours, and every time you get paid, it seems to the money only just pay your phone bill. You can't
Right,
even save no money. Pay your boss and you can't even save your money.
right,
This message is for you out there, okay? This message is for you. You're struggling to pay your bills, and this has been going on with you years after years and after years after years. You're struggling. I mean, you see your environment, the people around you, they're all going through the same thing. This
right.
message is for you. Okay, I want you to pay attention and pick up one of this book here. Listen, uh, this will be the best investment you ever make in your life. Okay? Money is extremely important. You cannot do anything on this planet here without money. There's nothing you can do in this world that we live in, you know. And people don't have a good mindset regarding money as a result of where they grew up. I'm here to tell you that you were born rich, okay? Whatever you're going through is as a result of you not becoming aware of actually who you are. Okay, you don't have people that actually telling these things that this can be changed. That's why you are where you are. Once you become aware of truly who you are, and pick up one of these books here or any book that talk about money to change your mindset, okay, it will take you from where you are to become anybody you want to be. But first, you have to understand how this thing is affecting you through the
Yeah.
book. Yeah,
And also on that point, money again, like you had alluded to when you talked about the person winning the lottery, it's going to reveal who you really are. All right, it's going to reveal
yeah,
exactly the person that you really are. So when we talk about these things, you cannot be shy about it. You cannot be any timid about saying I want to be rich. All right.
Oh yeah.
You cannot be timid about that because you saying you want to be rich means you strongly believe in your principles. You strongly believe in the things that you want to do in this world, and you know that the money's going to be going to good use. That's really what you're saying. Unlike the way the mainstream media paints this as if wanting a lot of money, there's some sort of selfish connotation that comes with that. That is not the truth. The truth is, if you in your heart believe in what it is you're doing, you should want to be rich automatically, and people are watching. People are seeing this stuff. That's how real work gets possessed. That's how real, difference and difference makers and things like that. That's how they really operate. So, all that being said, I do want to be very respectful of your time. Can you just tell people a little bit about, what's next, what's coming down the pipeline, what can we expect in the next, we approach it. We're in a new year now. So, talk to us a little bit about what you got going on next.
Yeah, I'm working on a lot of books though. I have like 4 books already written, haven't published it yet.
Yes.
I'm just taking my time. All I do is write because
Hmm.
yeah, I have a book coming up talk about longevity, you know, and longevity. I mean, how to program yourself to live longer, or
Yes.
the kind of food you have to eat and all that kind of stuff. I
Right.
talk about a book, I have a book called Millionaire's Mindset, you know, and I have
Well,
all
there's one out there about the millionaire mindset. T. Harv Eker, I think it is.
yeah, so and longevity, some people also believe that, I
Hmm.
mean, your life you're on this earth here basically is up to 70 years and whatever. All that belief system is causing people to lose their life,
Yes.
And this book that is coming up talk about how to stay long and live long and healthy because
Hmm.
health is everything. So I'm working on these books here because people need to know this stuff here. Nobody's talking about this stuff here. I want them to know that they are in charge of you. You decide how long you live on this planet here, and most people don't know that. It's in your hands. Once you have that belief system, you live as long as you want. But I'm going to keep my mouth shut and talk
Hmm.
about it, bring it in the book. You know what I
Right.
mean?
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Well, basically, I have a website called richardtmantey.com,
Hmm.
richardtmantey.com. When you go my website here, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all the social media, Facebook, at the
Hmm.
back of the website. Okay. And also if you go to my website and want to pick up this money mindset book here, when you log in the website, just click on the book site
Hmm.
because when you go on the website, you're only going to see the weight loss book there. But when you click on the book
Oh,
site,
the books. You'll see the right, right, right.
you'll see this one over here. I have it on the paperback. I have it on the what do you call it? Uh, uh,
Hardcover.
Hardcover. I have it on the what do you call audio,
Oh,
and I
oh,
also
it's
have
Audible too.
have it on, the weight loss book. I have it on the audio, but the mindset book here, I have it on a paperback, and I have it on a what do you call it? The flip book, like an ebook.
Oh, an ebook. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
flip book and
Yeah,
ebook. That you can just pick it up one night and just read right away. It's
gotcha.
quite amazing. I wrote this book, but I read it every day. It's like
Yeah,
my
well,
Bible.
that's the way it should be, though. I mean, if you're really going to put it out there, then you should be, applying the things that you
I
actually
read every day
want
because
to do for
it keep on reminding my own self. I have to
right.
because I can't just read it one time, just leave it. I can keep on reading over and over just to keep my mind sharp. Because people are
Exactly.
struggling a lot about this stuff, especially with money and the weight loss.
Hmm.
And also, I have YouTube channels. I talk about money, Richard Trillion, weight loss secret, and inspire. That's one of my YouTube channel. I also talk about Richard Trillion, rich mindset
Hmm.
mastery, talk about losing weight. I have affirmations there. Okay, I want you guys to go and subscribe and take a look at those affirmations and just listen to it over and over. It's going to change your life. I really want people to become financial worthy and rich.
Yeah, and the affirmations piece on that front, there's no excuse for you guys not doing that because it's very quick. It's one of those things that if you're on the go, you need this you need this small gem in your life so you're able to move forward to the next place. So I will include all that in the show notes as well. So, Richard, the final thing I do to close out all the shows is I want you to use your imagination a little bit. And let's say you are back to being, what, 225 pounds and you're struggling, you're eating whatever it is. I want you to pretend that that version of Richard has come into the Zoom room. Give him some words of encouragement, and we will officially close.
Well, this is what I'm going to say to Richard that you have to write an affirmation.
Hmm.
Exactly. I'm going to give you one affirmation. I'm going to write it down. Okay. The book have 4 steps. Okay, I'm gonna put all the 4 steps there before I even go. One is imagination, one is affirmation, and the third one is recording and listening, and the next one is the written method. All right. So basically, uh, I want you to write an affirmation about exactly and precisely how much you want to weigh. And I
Hmm.
want you to affirm it. Affirmation, you can write something like, I'm so happy, grateful, and thankful now that I already weigh this much, and I'm very grateful and thankful. Okay, you have to keep on repeating this affirmation over and over and over. It will program your subconscious mind. You begin to do things to cause you to actually manifest that. You get it. Be on this affirmation. In the book, I explain to you step by step exactly what you're supposed to do and how long you should do it, what time you should do it. It'll be so easy for you. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So also you can imagine yourself actually seeing fitting your jeans or the clothes that you want to fit inside over and over. But this imagination thing that before I go, your subconscious mind doesn't know, okay, the difference between what is imagined and what is real. So whatever you imagine, okay, it goes straight into it and it takes it literally as what you imagine. So if you do it over and over, it will cause you to manifest that. That's how powerful this thing is. So there's one secret I would like the audience to know about, you know.
Mike is officially dropping with that. So, all that being said, fellow teammates, continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.